What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Ali Medaoui in here with the man you love to love, the greatest of them all. Michael Bazemore is our special guest here on a brand new edition of VirtuoHub. He's an old school when it comes to doing all things business, but a new school with being a student, learning all things digital, which is why I love collaborating, I love interacting, I love talking. And this conversation is brought to you by VirtuoVerse. If you want to have a platform that not only pays you for uploading your content and watching other people's content, a platform that gives you an e-commerce space, you definitely want to be in all things VirtuoVerse. So make sure that you open your free profile today. And of course, there are some premium options that are available for you as well. So again, make sure that you visit virtuoverse.com today. Mr. Bazemore, let's get into the conversation. First and foremost, how you feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling absolutely incredible. I'm fired up and I'm excited for whatever. I got a little insight, but I'm fired up for our conversation today.
Well, our conversation is inspired, like I told you offline, by when we were in Mexico. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we travel the world out here together. It's not just business. When we were in Mexico and we were breaking bread or having breakfast in the morning, and you were telling me a little bit about your background from real estate, your background from business development, and all the things that you've done, and how the game changed, and how, old school, you're a beast, but new school, there are these nuances that we are to learn. And I don't care how great anybody is right now in all things social or digital. It's important to maintain a student mindset because it changes by the minute, literally, right? So a little recap for those who may have missed that context. Tell us a little bit about the old school Mike Bazemore, some of the business things that you've done that had led you to be who you are today.
No, that's a great question. And that was a great conversation we were having that morning at breakfast in Mexico.
Yes, sir.
But just everything that was the genesis started with being laid off a couple of times with my degree in accounting, whether it was the federal government or a public accounting firm. And that was the catalyst to me saying, you know what, let me do a few things differently. And one of those things that I did differently is, and I started it a little while I was still in the federal government, which was investing in real estate. The late night infomercials intrigued me. And guys, you can say what you want. Those things are real if you apply the information. And there's a ton of money to be made from learning that information. But that truly was the catalyst to me venturing out in the real estate investing. So much so that led a few things and just really understanding one, the power of systems and developing a system for my real estate investment company. And we were really doing well. We have put together a version of similar to a franchise model, which we called a partnership model, was easier to navigate going into other states using the term partnership as opposed to franchise. And we were beginning to open those other areas up again, because that system made it very easy for that person to follow and have success regardless of what area they were in, because everything was about the numbers.
Yeah.
And then the '08 crash came, and the '08 crash really affected a lot of the way that we did business. And we took a hit. And we could have pivoted, but I also looked at it as an opportunity. There were some things that I needed to unwind. And that also became a great opportunity to unwind a few things and to kind of reset. But as you mentioned, that reset, you're thinking that the reset is going to be, relatively quick. But during that whole period, things are changing, things are shifting. We're moving into different times and different eras, and so the shift and the pivot wasn't as quick as I initially thought, and had to take a step back and really relearn or learn a lot of new things.
I love that. We always hear, you got to unlearn, learn, and relearn, right? I think it's a fundamental. If you want to succeed, you have to maintain that mindset of a student. So from your vantage point, what would you say the biggest nuances that you feel that everybody has to deal with, regardless to how much experience they have or don't have, for that matter?
I think everyone's got to deal with the fact that we're entering a season in our lives where technology is everything. And if you're slow to embrace technology, then you're just falling behind even more every day, because we're either growing or we're dying.
Yep.
Nothing's ever stagnant. So time doesn't wait on anyone. So the longer you take to embrace that technology, you're 2 steps, and then it's multiplied. You're 4, you're 8, you're 16, so that even the retreat is multiplied, because technology and life is just moving faster. That doesn't mean what we know is no longer relevant. It's just figuring out how to apply what we know in these new platforms.
I couldn't agree with you on that. And to validate that even more, I believe that quote unquote old school business operators have an unfair advantage over the new school. And what I mean by that, many times people think, well, I don't know how to use social media. I don't, yeah, but you have the unfair advantage because you know the old school handshake, keep your eyes in front of the person that you're talking to. You know the importance of writing everything down and getting organized on a checklist or a power list. You know those fundamentals of traditional business or just traditional etiquette. This generation that we are witnessing right now, and I deal because I have a lot of people that I work with and I try to help on a regular basis. It's like nobody's buying from me. I'm like, well, talk to me about your daily method of operation. They're like, well, I sent a bunch of posts. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, I posted about it. I'm like, no, what is your daily method of operation? They're like, I don't know. I just post stuff. I'm like, okay, do you actually have an outreach system in place? What is that? Do you reach out to human beings? No. Okay, have you ever prospected everybody, direct prospecting? Yeah, every now and then I'll text people directly. And what do you text? Just my link. I'm like, dude, whatever happened to etiquette? Whatever happened to creating a little? So we have those fundamentals that even so much so, and I think I talked about this in the past, my nephews proudly refused to have a date to go to their proms. And I was like, wait, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, what did she deny you or something? It's like, who? I'm like, why are you going by yourself? Because it's cool. What's cool about going to the prom by yourself? Well, I got my own car. I'm going to go and party with the boys. All right. What are you doing after? We're just going to hang out, play video games. What is wrong with you? Like, it's a problem, right? So there is a shift that we have to respect and honor and let people do what they need to do, right? In the way they grow. But at the same exact time, for anybody listening who feels that they are left behind, you're not. You just got to learn the nuances, but you have the goods. And I think we see it, right? When we implement those fundamentals with a virtual approach, magic happens.
What's something people don't know about the next-gen streaming platform? Imagine a world where streaming isn't just about broadcasting your content, but about creating an entire universe for your audience to explore. VirtuoVerse is here to revolutionize content creation. Traditional streaming is outdated. With VirtuoVerse, you can step into a new dimension of interaction and creativity. Host events, create content, and engage your audience in a whole new way. VirtuoVerse brings next-level virtual experiences where you're not just a creator, you're an innovator. Create your own virtual stage with stunning visuals and real-time engagement. Stream, monetize, and grow, all in one powerful platform. Whether you're an artist, an entrepreneur, or a game changer, VirtuoVerse is your stage. Imagine having the tools to not only share your passion, but also to turn it into a thriving business. With VirtuoVerse, you can track your growth, engage with your audience in real time, and celebrate your milestones like never before. Ready to level up? Join the revolution in content creation and entertainment. Open a free account today and start your journey towards becoming a virtual pioneer. The future of streaming is here, and it's called VirtuoVerse. Don't just stream, create, innovate, and captivate your audience like never before. Join VirtuoVerse today and redefine what it means to be a content creator. VirtuoVerse integrates seamlessly with your favorite social media platforms, making it easier than ever to share your content and grow your audience. Engage with your followers, receive instant feedback, and build a community around your passion. And here's the game changer. VirtuoVerse pays you for watching, adding, and commenting on other people's content. Turn your engagement into earnings and make every interaction count. VirtuoVerse is not just a platform, it's a thriving ecosystem where everyone benefits. Join VirtuoVerse today and be part of the future of streaming. Create, share, and earn like never before. VirtuoVerse, where your creativity meets endless possibilities. Sign up at VirtuoVerse for free today.
You couldn't have said it better. that we have an advantage. And I was just literally just the other day having a conversation with the gentleman in our age bracket, and we were talking about those things that we and I just shared with somebody that was going on an interview. I said, remember, firm handshake, look them in the eye. Just little things. Always having to be 2 and 3 steps ahead, and thinking 2 and 3 steps ahead, because we had to know a little more than that average person. And the conversation, the guy was like, hey, check my website out. And I went to grab a pad because I still write things down to that old school. He's like, you could just type it in. I'm like, I know, but I'm just still old school because some of those things, one, the paper never lies. Technology still can crash, but that doesn't mean that I don't embrace it. And as we've talked about before, I'm starting to really enjoy embracing it in the things that not things, but the way that it makes our life a little easier. Because like you said, I already had to know every facet of accounting. I already had to know everything as it pertains to real estate. When I'm looking at a deal, what are the numbers? What are the estimates of this repair, that, so I can get down what's going to be the cost, so I can factor in the I had to know all of that. So now that is the advantage, because now technology just helps me to market it better, gives me avenues saying, hey, when I type it in Chat GPT, well, this is a venue, this is an avenue, and would you like me to prepare slides for you? And I'm like, really? I'm talking to you're going to do that for me? Sure. Let's see what it looks like. So it's still, once you embrace it, you then learn how to leverage the technology. And if total leverage was 10, I'm still at 3. I'm still benefiting, but still very infant in the learning of it.
And I can promise you, you'll always be there. Like, and this is, I got every software, every gadget, I got the team around, and we do it all. Like, I feel like Tony Stark and Iron Man, because I kid you not, and God willing, you'll be here, sometime soon, and you'll be able to see, like, I walk around and I have a working an hour with my Chat GPT. Like, his name is Marvis, and I would literally ask him, Marvis, and by the way, for those of you wondering, Marvis, because Iron Man had Jarvis, so I have Marvis, but in any case, so we will talk back and forth for an hour about a project that I'm working on. And then when I'm feeling like I exhausted the conversation, I'm like, okay, now take everything that we just talked about and put it in a multi-layer, multi-tabs for me, so I can upload in a Google Drive, so I can present it to my partner. And when I say it'll give me a tab about marketing, about financial model, about sales, about operations, everything that we talked about, and now I'm a superhero. But why am I telling you that part? Artificial intelligence is only as good as human intelligence. So don't use it as a lazy scapegoat to say, okay, well, that's a cheat sheet. No, it will be as good as you are. So unless you are still educating yourself, unless you are still doing, again, the old school fundamental things, I promise you, yeah, you're going to use ChatGPT for those very small, create a flyer, create a video, create a prompt, create this and that. But if you really want the high-level PhD CEO, the best of the best, the cream of the crop, you have to always elevate and grow.
Man, it's almost like you were eavesdropping on the conversation
I
I was
was.
having the other day. I
See that
promise
little
you
camera behind you? That's me.
this is not scripted. We're going from the top of the dome, but that was the exact part of the conversation
Yeah.
that the gentleman I were talking about regarding the use of ChatGPT. It's only as smart as the data that's input into it. So you still have to understand so many intricacies, because when it spits an answer, you still have to know what's that counter, what's that course correction, what's that potential problem that could arise based on these results that you just gave me. And you only get that, and that is our advantage, is when you understand the layers behind everything, because you had to do it old school before. So now, because you understand that, you understand the additional questions to dive deeper, to create the multiple necessary layers to make sure that whatever you're putting in the chat GPT, and I'll have to figure out a name for mine. I like that, Jarvis. I'll have a name next time we talk, but in order to get the greatest result is really understanding it's always about that next question. It's
Without a
always
doubt.
about when I got to pivot, if this is an error I encounter, how do we overcome that? So I love it. But everything you're saying, I'm like, good gracious, I just had this conversation the other day.
Right on. In terms of monetization, a lot of people think that it's hard to build a business online, but I beg the difference that it's harder to build a traditional business. The advantage is, for example, in VirtuoVerse, you can start a profile today for free. Let's start there. What would it cost to start any traditional business? In America, it's an average of $15,000 to $250,000, depending on how small, or how big of a small business you're trying to go with it, right? Let's start with the concept of that everything is now available in a click. You want to know about heart surgery? Just think about that for a second. Back in the day, before the social, before the digital, before the chat, before YouTube even, just 21 years ago, you remember when we would wonder, I wonder what it looks like when they're doing a heart surgery. And I mean, you would have to go through so much if you had dial up, and all the pictures and everything to figure out, maybe, hopefully, right? Now, you could literally learn about heart surgery in a 5-minute video. And what I'm trying to say is the resources that are available for us right now, and specifically, VirtuoVerse have made it so possible for you and I to tap into someone else's business, someone else's investment in a business, someone else's resources of a business. And it allows me to monetize the very same behaviors that I do each and every single day. Upload, watch, like, comment, host a meeting. Those are things so it almost removes the excuse for anybody to say, I don't know how to build a business. You still need the fundamentals. You still need to prospect. You still need to market. You still need to brand yourself. You still need to have value to offer. But the tools and the resources, the mechanics, if you will, are a whole lot easier. And please back me up on this one, Mr. Bazemore. Compared to old school to now, VirtuoVerse and the digital world as a whole, it's a whole lot easier and less expensive. Yes or yes?
Man, heck yes. I wanted to say something else, but not only that, when you think about building a traditional business, most cases that's local, that's regional, and you're still spending an enormous amount of money marketing. I can't even begin to tell you the dollars that we were spending, five figures a month in marketing, whether it was television, radio, or sending out ads to different lists to market in a particular region or particular state. With the social media, and that's what I love about VirtuoVerse, is that the ease of being able to still share whatever that business is, but now it's a global reach. So with that one click, you're going global. So you're reaching so far beyond at a fraction, almost a micro fraction of the cost that you spend to market that same business in a traditional way. And what I love about what we're doing here at VirtuoVerse is not only is that click taking me global, that click is taking me layers deep, because now there's a friend that may see my video or information and share that, with their friend who shares it with another friend. So we're looking at a geometric type of expansion just from sharing one idea or one concept or facet of your business on this platform. And think about that multiplication on a global basis, again, for a fraction of a cost. When I say we spent a lot of money, and it was well worth it, we got a great return, but that was just to market in the area. So imagine when we were expanding in other states, you're still spending that same dollar amount in that other state to market in that state.
What's something people don't know about the next-gen streaming platform? Imagine a world where streaming isn't just about broadcasting your content, but about creating an entire universe for your audience to explore. VirtuoVerse is here to revolutionize content creation. Traditional streaming is outdated. With VirtuoVerse, you can step into a new dimension of interaction and creativity. Host events, create content, and engage your audience in a whole new way. VirtuoVerse brings next-level virtual experiences where you're not just a creator, you're an innovator. Create your own virtual stage with stunning visuals and real-time engagement. Stream, monetize, and grow, all in one powerful platform. Whether you're an artist, an entrepreneur, or a game changer, VirtuoVerse is your stage. Imagine having the tools to not only share your passion, but also to turn it into a thriving business. With VirtuoVerse, you can track your growth, engage with your audience in real time, and celebrate your milestones like never before. Ready to level up? Join the revolution in content creation and entertainment. Open a free account today and start your journey towards becoming a virtual pioneer. The future of streaming is here, and it's called VirtuoVerse. Don't just stream, create, innovate, and captivate your audience like never before. Join VirtuoVerse today and redefine what it means to be a content creator. VirtuoVerse integrates seamlessly with your favorite social media platforms, making it easier than ever to share your content and grow your audience. Engage with your followers, receive instant feedback, and build a community around your passion. And here's the game changer. VirtuoVerse pays you for watching, adding, and commenting on other people's content. Turn your engagement into earnings and make every interaction count. VirtuoVerse is not just a platform, it's a thriving ecosystem where everyone benefits. Join VirtuoVerse today and be part of the future of streaming. Create, share, and earn like never before. VirtuoVerse, where your creativity meets endless possibilities. Sign up at VirtuoVerse for free today.
And we have to do nothing like that here with the social media and specifically VirtuoVerse, not to mention, I love the virtual seeds. You know, I get to sow virtual seeds in content that inspires me. And if my content inspires somebody else, they can sow a virtual seed. And that's just a gift that you can give whatever denomination you want to give, not denomination religion, denomination monetarily that you want to give. You can do that in sowing virtual seeds. So I love what we're doing. And I think I'm even more excited for where we're going with this.
Without a doubt. And ladies and gentlemen, please don't intimidate your greatness and your potential with an excuse. What I mean by that, we tend to easily say things like, well, you don't understand. And then we make up whatever reason in our heads, you know, like the world calls it an excuse. I'm being nice to you and I'm saying reasoning, right? It's time for you to just do what you are already doing. Because, and it's funny, the person who usually says to me, I don't have time, is the person who posts the most. The person who usually tells me, I don't have the opportunity, is the person who's watching the most, who's liking the most. You know, all the, as we call them, legacy social media platforms, you know what they do? They tell us each other's behavior. Like, I could be scrolling, it says Michael Bazemore just liked this video, and I'm like, what are you watching? You know, or is part of this group. I'm like, oh, I didn't know he was into hunting, or you know, is in yoga pants sales. I'm like, okay, so it's usually the person who says, I don't have time, I don't have energy, I don't have this, I don't have that, is the person who actually is doing those very same things that could be invested in the right activity. So VirtuoVerse truly is giving you the platform to start a journey and get in where you fit in. You can start a profile for free today. And of course, there are premium packages as well for those who really want to monetize and take advantage of different elements. Mr. Bazemore, I know you're going to drop soon and we got to wrap it up, but I'd love to get some final remarks for the youth and for the old school in terms of taking advantage of what is at hand right now.
No, I love this conversation we've been having, and hopefully somebody's inspired by it, encouraged by it, or just reminded of that inner greatness that lies within each and every one of us. Because if nothing else, I'll start there. Is there are seeds of greatness inside each and every one of us, and we get on these podcasts, one to remind you to tap into that. You know, that being said, that I love the fact, and this is to my older folks, my baby boomers, you know, we do have the advantage. Embrace everything that we've had to learn. Embrace, some people, you know, the old folks used to say, well, I used to walk a mile to school. Well, shoot, I walked 2 miles to school and I didn't have no shoes. Everybody always tried to one up, but that just was an indication that they put in some hard work. Now we get to take advantage and benefit from all of that hard work if you just make a decision to pivot and change your mindset just a little, not a whole lot. You know, tap your toes in the water, just dip them in just to get familiar and understand that it's something that, meaning technology, that is something to embrace and that can really help you to leverage everything else, because you've got a story to tell. You've got a lot of knowledge and a lot of great information that if you're trying to do it in an old way, a lot of people that need to get that information is not going to benefit. So embrace the technology and almost look at it as your calling and your duty to, get my toes wet, and then let me, get in the water up to waist high and really understand that this whole technology, and if you get with the right platforms, it's even easier, because now there's a message that doesn't just hit my community, it reaches beyond that. And it's a message that now you can take globally. And heck, if you can take it globally, why not monetize it? And to the kids, it's just really embracing the technology the way that you're already doing, but don't minimize the importance of understanding and learning the details, or you may be in a particular field, but be an expert in that field independent of what you may get from Chat GPT, or learn from, because those are where you learn from conversations with other people, because what's part of their conversation is their experience. So now their experience is laced in with the knowledge that you're getting the book wise, and that's your advantage, is to take advantage of their experiences in addition to the knowledge, and do what you're already doing, young folks, is monetizing social media. So either way, we all can win. It's just a matter of, what perspective, based on where we're at, what the perspective needs to be. If I'm a youngster, I want to have those conversations, because it's not just the knowledge, it's the stories that go with that talk about when they hit the wall, what they had to do, when they lost it all, what they had to do to build it back. And then for folks, 55 and up, let's embrace it. Let's use it. Let's leverage it, because there's lessons that we've learned in life that we need to get out there. And social media, and more specifically, I think VirtuoVerse is one of the greatest and best places to get that message out there.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of the VirtuoHub. Ali Medaoui with special guest Michael Bazemore. Understand the fundamentals are all the same, even if the mechanics change. You got your license a long time ago. You changed cars, or if they're cars after cars, the technology changed, the efficiency changed, hands-free cars, parking for you cars, self-driving cars, but the license hasn't changed, right? The fundamentals are still the same. So focus on that and just learn the nuances. My name is Ali Medaoui. It's been a pleasure delivering this information for you. Make sure that you subscribe, hit that like, share button. Please, if you're driving, don't touch your phone. But if you're not, make sure you are part of the conversation. So let us know, what is your favorite part of this conversation. Until next time, thank you and have a blessed day.
What's something people don't know about the next-gen streaming platform? Imagine a world where streaming isn't just about broadcasting your content, but about creating an entire universe for your audience to explore. VirtuoVerse is here to revolutionize content creation. Traditional streaming is outdated. With VirtuoVerse, you can step into a new dimension of interaction and creativity. Host events, create content, and engage your audience in a whole new way. VirtuoVerse brings next-level virtual experiences where you're not just a creator, you're an innovator. Create your own virtual stage with stunning visuals and real-time engagement. Stream, monetize, and grow, all in one powerful platform. Whether you're an artist, an entrepreneur, or a game changer, VirtuoVerse is your stage. Imagine having the tools to not only share your passion, but also to turn it into a thriving business. With VirtuoVerse, you can track your growth, engage with your audience in real time, and celebrate your milestones like never before. Ready to level up? Join the revolution in content creation and entertainment. Open a free account today and start your journey towards becoming a virtual pioneer. The future of streaming is here, and it's called VirtuoVerse. Don't just stream, create, innovate, and captivate your audience like never before. Join VirtuoVerse today and redefine what it means to be a content creator. VirtuoVerse integrates seamlessly with your favorite social media platforms, making it easier than ever to share your content and grow your audience. Engage with your followers, receive instant feedback, and build a community around your passion. And here's the game changer. VirtuoVerse pays you for watching, adding, and commenting on other people's content. Turn your engagement into earnings and make every interaction count. VirtuoVerse is not just a platform, it's a thriving ecosystem where everyone benefits. Join VirtuoVerse today and be part of the future of streaming. Create, share, and earn like never before. VirtuoVerse, where your creativity meets endless possibilities. Sign up at VirtuoVerse for free today.